Coming up live on Livewire, we've got a great show for you today. Really a great show. We're going to talk to Garret Root from the Preservation Sacramento Association, and we're going to talk about the Elmhurst area of Sacramento and its celebrations on a yearly basis of its location. And then we're going to talk to some folks from the Wildlife Care Association, and they do on a yearly basis a PSA contest for young people, and we're going to have meet the winners, and then we're going to talk to Gary Martin, who's executive director of the it's a Place Called Sacramento is the name of the program. He's the executive director of Access Sacramento, and we're going to learn about that filmmaking that you can do in your own town right after this important message. Sacramento has a lot of lovely homes, and in the Elmhurst area, there's some really beautiful homes designed by famous people, such as the woman who designed the Hearst Castle, designed one of the homes here in this neighborhood of Elmhurst. And with me in the studio is the president of the
Preservation
Sacramento, and you're kind of leading the charge here. Of people looking at these beautiful homes and learning about this area, which is fascinating, the Elmhurst area, because it has a lot of beauty in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is our 41st year doing home tours, and this is actually our first year doing a home tour outside of the central city, so the area between the American River, Sacramento River, Highway 50, and Alhambra Boulevard. Mm-hmm. So it's a big triumph for our organization, mm-hmm. And Elmhurst is a great neighborhood to feature. Like you said, there's lots of beautiful homes. You can't walk down the street and not find an original or a very nice example of a 1910 or a 1920 style home.
Yeah, and at that time it wasn't even part of Sacramento. It was this kind of unincorporated area, and I guess they could make whole areas development.
Yeah, it was one of the early subdivisions in Sacramento. The earliest subdivision is Oak Park, which is just a few streets over. Mm-hmm. But Elmhurst was established in 1913, so it was I think one of the five earliest subdivisions in Sacramento.
Must have been an exciting time to live here. All of these designers and builders, cities were becoming having skyscrapers built, and
yeah, we definitely experienced population booms, and people moved away from the central downtown cores and moved to these suburb areas. And they were usually connected by streetcars, and they had great infrastructure to get them from work downtown to a nice new residence in the suburbs. So
that's good.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's happening today as we speak out on the streets?
So this like I said, is our 41st annual home tour. Uh-huh. Right now we're featuring 6 stops on our home tour. So there is 4 houses, the Coloma Center, which we're filming in right now, mm-hmm. and a backyard area that someone's created into a koi pond area. So 4 houses, the Coloma Center, and this backyard. And tour goers are allowed to go inside the homes, and they have a tour booklet that tells them the history of who lived there. And we have a whole cadre of volunteers that are inside the homes that are there to answer any questions and explain the history and the architecture.
And the architecture too, yeah, that's very interesting. People discuss the idea of the designs of some of these buildings. Is this a craftsman building? Mm-hmm. And my wife and I live in a craftsman downtown. And it's very interesting how it's built. It's all redwood. Sorry, but it is.
Yep.
You feel guilty for the wood you live in.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's lots of great examples of most of the houses in Elmhurst are what we call revival styles. So the houses of the 19 teens and 20s, so like Spanish Revival, Colonial Revival, Tudor Revival, and then there's the Craftsman style architecture, which was occurring at the same time. So one of the houses right next door, which is one of the tour stops, the Nast House is a Craftsman style home.
So I want to ask you a little bit about the organization.
Yeah.
I want to hear about you because you seem to really know about all of this thing. So you must have a background in architecture. Is that correct?
Yeah, when I'm not doing Preservation Sacramento stuff, which is an all-volunteer organization, I'm an architectural historian, so I look at historic buildings professionally as well. So I was trained in the history of architectural styles.
Wow.
And I generally write boring environmental documents, but I get to look at some very interesting buildings along the way.
Sure, yeah, and maybe some interesting discoveries.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What fun. What fun. Yeah, I was just reading an article about a woman who she discovered a basement under her basement. And then, of course, the historians came in and said, well, some of them said, well, this is a part of the trail from the south for slaves to stay, a safe house, they called it. And then they went on, no, this is just a storage area.
Probably a root cellar, yeah. That was pretty common.
Yeah. So, very interesting stuff. So, what the Preservation Society does is...
So, Preservation Sacramento, we were originally founded in 1972 as the Sacramento Old City Association, also called SOCA. About 4 years ago, we went through a name change and we expanded our scope. Originally, SOCA was really focused on the central city and advocating for the homes within that area and the commercial buildings as well. But as Sacramento has grown, we've really felt the need to have a preservation group that encompassed all of Sacramento. So we changed the name to be a more encompassing name, Preservation Sacramento, and we advocate on behalf of buildings, historic buildings. Historic generally means anything.
Don't tear down my house.
Yeah, exactly. So we advocate for preservation of historic homes and commercial buildings, but we also do educational events. We did a event on historic architecture earlier this year. We did a seminar explaining the benefits of historic tax credits. And then the home tour, which is occurring right now, is our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Great. Well, Garret Root, thank you so much for coming to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, okay. Well, we have to take a pause for the cause, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about photographing wildlife and nature and making a PSA out of that information. Right back, right after this.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, it just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
We're back. I'm Ray Taddock with Livewire, and with me in the studio from the Wildlife Care Association is Teresa Belowski.
Hi there, how you doing?
Great. So we met last year, and you had this very same kind of event, and you brought back some winners for this year's PSA contest.
Yes, we actually ran a video contest. This one was a little different because we decided to enlist the younger people in our community. So we had one for kids to have basically get them out and get into nature.
And these are they're actually brother and sister, right?
Yes, they actually
Aral
both did very
Aranya,
very good
right?
winners.
Cool.
That's right.
And your last name is pronounced
Karagatam.
Karagatam. That's easy. So, interestingly enough, you heard about this. Where'd you hear about it? Your school?
Well, we saw it on Facebook.
Oh, you saw it on Facebook. Wow. Okay, and you said, "Mom, I think I want to do this."
Yeah.
You did?
Or she also found about it. And
I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
she
all
found it as well. Cool. So, how did you decide to what you would like to do? Around? How did you decide what you wanted to photograph?
I like to photograph all wildlife. So there's a butterfly in our front yard. So I went and I took a video of it,
Cool.
moving its wings back and forth, and that's in the video.
I see.
And also various
other
local
various
areas.
kinds of animals, right?
And birds.
And you're from Davis, so there's
Yeah.
lots of wild animals all around.
Yeah.
Wild butterflies.
Yeah.
Good. And you, young lady?
Well, I made a compilation of different videos that I've taken of birds.
Birds. Oh. So you like birds, Aranya. Do you know very much about them?
Well, one of them that I took, which is a Cooper's hawk, it happened to come to our bird bath and it dipped its leg in the water.
It landed in your bird bath.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. They looked down and said, I think I need a bath. Cool. So you videotaped this, and then do you know how to edit and put all that stuff together?
Yeah, we use Windows Movie Maker
Oh, I see. Cool.
to put all the videos together
Uh-huh.
with the correct timing.
Put a little music.
Yeah.
make
You
it
find
a
some
nice
music
thing.
online and put it.
And they submitted it and won.
You guys did a great job. The videos were awesome.
Thank you.
This is great. Great, good. You know, it's really nice to see young people interested in nature. For some reason, we were talking about it in the studio with the head of the Wildlife Association. Here, I've got his name down here. His name is Rick Reed.
Rick's actually our PR guy.
A PR guy.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, and he was saying something about kind of getting lost in your phone, and a lot of people are kind of lost in their phone. But taking pictures of nature and being out in nature is an amazing thing. So we have a short with these films. Can we have a look at them? Okay, we can. We're going to run them back to back. So there's a frog in yours, right?
Yes.
And
There's a frog and a butterfly and also many birds.
I see.
And a lizard.
And a bird in a bird
Bird
bath. Okay, let's have a look at them.
There's also some
Okay,
goldfinch.
these are the two winners of the Wildlife Care Association PSA contest. Here they are, live on your screen on Access. congratulations. I can see how both of you won. You're wonderful. Those are really wonderful, good images, don't you think? It must have been fun to put them together. Yeah. And I think that you two are a fine example of using your cameras. I see you brought some cameras, so these are gifts from your parents, right? Yeah. Wow, that's an interesting thing right there. That also takes video, correct?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And you can zoom?
Yeah, it has variable.
Wow. Good. Did you use those things?
Yeah, most of the videos are with this camera. I think one video was with the older camera.
Wow. Well, I wish you well. I think it's important that you do things that you like doing and carry them forward in your life. Well, thank you very much for bringing these two beauties.
Thank you.
And they're winning. And thank you for being the Wildlife Care Associations. I'm glad we have such a thing.
Well, thanks. We appreciate being here, and you guys did a great job. We always like young people to get involved in nature.
Thank you.
Carry it through to your adulthood.
Thank you. Thank you both. All right. Well, we've got to go to a short break, and we're going to be back with our next guest, Mr. Gary Martin, who is the Executive Director of Access Sacramento, right after these words.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today? Let's do those pearly whites, man. Yeah! The boys, check it. Stand up, do my cherries, gonna compare us. Go.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Okay, we're back with Livewire. I'm Ray Tatter, and with me in the studio is the man that makes it all happen here. I mean, it's Access Sacramento, which is a place like no other place I know of, which allows people who are regularly interested, maybe, in making films or television or radio or learning more about the computer, can come and not have to pay $1,000, $2,500 to learn how to switch something on and make a pretty video. Isn't that right?
That's right. Pretty video, pretty radio, all of those things work. And Ray, you were exactly on the mark. It only involves a matter of interest.
Yeah.
If someone is interested in how to create a TV show or a radio program, then Access Sacramento is here to help. We have this beautiful facility, the TV studio that we are all in right now. But next door, we also have the radio station KUBU, 96.5 FM. And both our television and radio facilities are open to the public to create community media. It is an opportunity whether you know how to use the technology or not. Because we have low-cost classes that teach people how to create radio and TV. So, Ray, you're a TV host, but you didn't start that way, undoubtedly, right? You did something else.
No, I started out riding a bicycle.
Okay, that's right.
Once I mastered that, though.
That's right.
And I want to say this, is that you have one of the programs, it's It's in its 13th or 14th year. It's called A Place Called Sacramento.
Exactly right. Our film festival, which is a celebration of local filmmaking, happens every year. And Ray, it is our 17th year with A Place Called Sacramento. We have 10 original films, all written here locally by local beginning writers for the most part, who wanted to make a 10-minute film. So it started last January with the call. We got some scripts, we judged them and picked 10. Those 10 films were made over this last summer, and they're all going to premiere on October the 8th at the Crest Theater, downtown Sacramento, at 7 o'clock. And this celebration of filmmaking really is all about Sacramento, a place called Sacramento. The stories are set here. The crew that filmed it and did the audio and the lights are all from here. The writers, the directors, and all of the actors are a part of A Place Called Sacramento. So it's very exciting.
And you've discovered some really wonderful talents. I had one of your producers on the producer-director on the show last week, and it was her third or fourth film. And, you know, she said, I just discovered myself.
You know, I'm sure you're talking about Donna Wilberg.
That's right.
From A Place Called Sacramento. Her film this year is Afternoon Delight, and it's a French kind of film set here in Sacramento. It's a very exciting story, but it'll be one of the favorites, I'm sure, in the festival that's about to come. But there are 10 of those original stories.
Yeah, I know. And over those years, it's almost, you're reaching towards 200 10-minute films. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment. I don't know of another city that does this kind of thing.
No, you know, we call it the original Project Greenlight. You know, but it's the idea that, you know, there are people here with immense talent in filmmaking. And whether it's as a writer or whether it's as a director, actor, or a crew member, Sacramento has a phenomenal amount of local filmmaking talent that very rarely gets a chance to showcase it on the big screen.
Yeah, we pound the drums about this thing because it is really a signal non-pareil. There's no comparison program, but you have other programs that are lesser known, and what are those?
Well, in addition to A Place Called Sacramento, of course, our true mission is in cable distribution and playback on Channel 17 and 18.
Yes.
Livewire right now on Channel 17. And in addition to that, we create programs like this, but there's also opportunities for music makers, people who want to get some TV time that have live performance experience, but don't rarely get an opportunity to be on TV. So if it's a local Sacramento County band, we invite them to contact the producer Erica Gelstrom from Listen Up Sacramento.
Listen Up.
A program that is aired on
We also have
Tuesdays.
one on politics, Soapbox.
Yes, and Monday night has the Soapbox program, which comes from a community producer. That's in part by a crew that includes host James Israel and Stephen Barassa and Greg Popejoy and a variety of people who help make those programs for Soapbox.
Yeah, and that is a nice thing because, you know, I mean, I can't think of another town that has that kind of open to the community, talk about politics, let's, you know, it's a democratizing thing.
Exactly right. And our radio station likewise has similar types of opportunities for people to do talk shows, talk about politics or other community events, but also to play music. You know, Ray, I don't know, you know, I started off when I was in college in radio. I don't know if you have a radio background, but it's the idea that, you know, you can be a community radio producer, and we have programs that include oldies and religious and pop rock and hip hop and international music. We have a woman who does poetry. So there's all sorts of types of radio programming that come from the community, from community producers. And we hope people will come in and take a class, get certified, put their show on the air.
Yes, and that's great, and it's easy, and it's and my wife, who is a videographer, as a professional videographer, has come back here to take a warm up or go back and take the basics class again. So a lot of people can learn really. Really their skills and hone their skills again.
Exactly right, and you know, it doesn't have to be rocket science here. You know, learning how to point a camera and to capture better audio and to tell stories in a better way is what Access Sacramento is all about. Our slogan is, for the radio station, the voice of Sacramento, community producers. And we really want to get people the opportunity to tell their stories. And more importantly, once you take a class from us, you're certified to use our equipment. So checking out high definition equipment, or with your friends to be able to use a television studio like this, is all a part of what we provide that is free to our members who then also take a certification class.
We've got about 1 minute, but I really want you to talk about your new equipment, which is an HD traveling truck.
Right, a remote production truck. We're very proud of the fact that the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission determined that it was time for us to upgrade our standard definition RV and to turn it into a full-fledged high-definition television remote truck. We used it for Skip Stairway to Stardom about a month ago. This coming Friday night we'll be live at 7 o'clock at Cordova High School. So Vista del Lago from Folsom at Cordova High in a live broadcast Friday night at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to see the high-definition cameras in play. It's an exciting opportunity.
And people are next to really important equipment that you can actually I've seen some of the people you've trained go right over to one of the commercial television stations and go to work.
Exactly right. And whether it's to local television news or jumping across to any of the venues, for example, River Cats and the Sacramento Kings, some of our former employees are also employees there now. Comcast Sportsnet and the SAMCO, the local part-timers union, a lot of our people make the crossover and get those full-time jobs.
Gary, thanks for coming in and giving us a good report on Access Sacramento.
And thank you, Ray, for all you do for us.
Well, I actually have to close the show now. Don't want to, but we're back every Wednesday at 5 with 5 Live with Access Sacramento's Livewire television program. So we'll see you next week on Wednesday at 5.